Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the Oscars Internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for December 21st, 2020, with your host, Spacebaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
It does not feel like Christmas is this week.
Nope. That I can agree with.
Great, it's just like, yay, the year's almost over.
Yay, next year's not going to be any better.
At least not for the first part of it,
No.
unfortunately.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm in the camp of I also feel like we might be pushing that vaccine out a little too quickly.
Yeah.
I am definitely not going to be the first one standing in line for that one kind of deal. Yeah.
I was about to say, we have two of them at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the first one in line for that. No. We'll let the other guinea pigs go first and then see what happens.
I was about to say, I don't think general populace, at least in our state, are going to be able to get it until sometime in the spring.
And even then, I'm still not going to be.
Yeah.
It's like...
But yeah, like that's...
Yeah.
That's the article I saw. It was just like, yeah, our state, general populace, is just going to be like spring. Because right now, it's just, I think, emergency personnel. Because I know emergency personnel in the county just got it today.
Well, I hate being that person, but in light of our governor's inability to, try to combat this to his best ability, yeah, we may never see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, brighter topics.
Yep.
We're doing episodes 9 through 12 of Build Fighters Try today, but first, you want to talk about the Gundam summer movie since it debuted Friday as officially subbed through the Toei Toku channel and then went to private like less than 24 hours later.
I didn't get a chance to actually watch those subs.
Oh. Well, you've still seen the Gundam summer movie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Recently, actually.
Oh, well, yeah. Right, Gundam rewatch.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's one of those movies where I feel like we didn't need a movie exclusive form for Coda.
Yeah. Or if we did need a movie exclusive form, it, could have been Jumbo Melon.
Yeah, they fucking dropped the ball on that one so goddamn hard, and I am upset.
I forgot how hard they teased that.
Yeah. I like to remind folks, Jimbo Melon has been in concept art and been an official thing forever. It's a toy exclusive thing for the most part. And I think technically in canon, Takatora is the first one to use it because he uses it in the Gundam novel, which I believe is considered canon.
I would hope so.
Well, it's post-series, post the V Cinemas, and kind of ties into the end of the V Cinemas and stuff. Also, Tsukasa shows up in that fucking novel for whatever stupid reason.
Because of course he does.
I have had conversations with people where, there's known information about all the different Heisei Rider novels that have been out. And there's always that, I don't know if we can trust this information, because, people could be lying to us and, putting out false information, and nobody has the easy means of deconfirming them. But I've read and I've looked into what all these novels are supposed to be. Some of them are too goddamn bonkers to be wrong. Yeah, there's some real fan fan stuff in them. But I'm also who the fuck would make Narataki a real fucking vampire? Who? Who would have Tsukasa randomly show up in the Gundam novel? Not even as Decade, just as Tsukasa there to tell Michi, hey, go be hero. You got this. Bye. That's it. That's all he does. He's not even really name dropped. He's just described as Tsukasa, described as you would expect Tsukasa to be described as. He's not even name dropped as Tsukasa. You just assume it's Tsukasa because of the description. Like, some of the stuff is just, it's bonkers. Absolute bonkers, and I refuse to believe a fan would actually go that far. No, they would do the fan stuff and that'd be it.
Fair.
Yeah. And I also am just like, if people lied about this, they would have said they've lied about it by now. We would have known where it came from and and the person would have told us if it was a lie or not at this point.
Maybe?
Yeah. Unless we've lost the original location for all of this stuff. But I'm like, at this point, who would lie? Like, honestly, that's my other argument. It's just like, who the fuck would lie about these novels?
Someone looking to get hype out of something.
Right, but no one has claimed the credit on them. And if they have, it has been lost to time. Because no one knows, because they've come from all sorts of different sources. Or they're just like information that's just existed in the ether that you can just find. So, I don't know. I'm willing to believe these novels, and hell, someone who's got a Patreon has been subbing, or has been translating them. He's translated the entirety of the Kuga novel. He's currently working on the Agito novel, and is going to be moving on to Ryuki novel next. Which, oh boy, that Ryuki novel, sucks.
Okay.
It has also got some not good stuff in it. So... And hell, someone in the Soda Pop Discord is like, oh yeah, I do know what happens in that Ryugi novel. Here's my review of it. And I'm like, oh shit, that's how I know about the Ryugi novel, is your review of it. So, yeah, no, the Ryugi novel sucks.
Oh god. To be fair, that doesn't surprise me though.
Yeah.
Because from what you've said about the way Ryuki kind of had different viewpoints on the writing side of things, it's like, yeah.
Well, this one, I forget who wrote it. I think Inoue wrote this one? I don't remember. Yeah, no, Ryuki did write that, or Inoue did write this. Ryuki didn't write this. Ryuki himself did not become real and write this one.
I mean, we do now have a writer that is a writer.
Yeah. But no, Inoue wrote this one. Which, I think he's like the less strong half of Agito, or of Ryuki, in terms of the writing. Also, it's Inoue.
True.
So, granted, I still haven't read the Kuga novel translation, even though I've had it for fucking forever. I've had it for years, and I still haven't sat down and read it. I need to, because it sounded pretty good from people's impressions of it. What else was I going to say? Also, for the Gundam movie, it feels weird that we have 3 movie exclusive writers, and one of them is just Kurakage with a different belt and a different weapon.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, here's the Genesis driver version of Kurakage. Nothing different about him.
At all.
Which is a shame, because I would like to see an actual proper Energy Rider version of Kurakage, but it's Kurakage.
I mean, they could have at least gave him the shoulder pad.
Yeah.
It was one of those that felt like, for all the budget they had, they could have done, something.
I assume they did it that way. I assume the entire existence of Shin Kurakage is because they needed to balance out the number of riders. Because I think it's even with him. I think.
Maybe. I don't actually remember right offhand. I think you're right.
Because it's the core four. Kurakage, Gridden, Knuckle, Bravo, Shin Kurakage, Marika, Kamuro. Actually, it's 11.
Well, it's even as far as main cast concept.
True. Yeah, Kamuro gets to be the 11th rider on that one. I will actually double check that.
I think you're right.
Because I know, like, Duke and Sigurd aren't there because they get dumpstered and forgotten about in the movie.
Yeah. Which, that's actually kind of fine because, truthfully, by the end of the series, the same fate kind of happens to them. Just saying.
No, it is 11. Thank you, WriterWiki, for having a picture from that last battle with all of them together. And I guess it's because they wanted a Kurakage on the ends, on each end. Because the Kurakages are on the ends, and then it's like Gridden, Knuckle, Bravo, Zangetsu, Marika, Ryugen, Baron, Kamuro, Gain. So, that makes sense. I would love for the day for Soto to be able to, for you to be able to get all 11 of those riders in Soto.
And be able to recreate that scene.
Yeah, I think as soon as we get, because we don't have a Gaim like retail set 3 yet. We just have in set 1 it's the core 4 in their base forms. So that gets you Ryugen for this scene. And then the second set gives you Baron and Zangetsu in with their Genesis drivers, which that's 2. And then the premium Bandai set gets you Marika, because it has the rest of the Genesis driver riders from the series. Doesn't have Pekko, so you don't get Shin Kurakage.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but we still don't have a third retail set, which everyone assumes will have Kiwami at lead for it, of the 4 figures. So it'll probably be like Kiwami, Kurakage, and 2 other riders, maybe? Because I don't know what forms they're thrown in there. Because they haven't done like all of those like mid-tier upgrades, like your mangoes, your pines, your ichigos, all that stuff.
Right.
And I don't expect them for retail set 3. So I don't know what else, unless they decide to do Zangetsu Kachidoki.
I mean, they could.
Because they've already done Kachidoki, so they have literally all the parts
They have all
to do
the things.
Zangetsu. Yeah, all they need is a new helmet. Because they have the armor from Gaim Kachidoki. And I think the undersuit is Shin Zangetsu's undersuit, technically. Which they've already done as well. So in theory, you could actually make it yourself. Once you have set 2. But have to wait to see, because like set 2 doesn't come out till I think like February next year. They're spacing out the Gaim Chronicle stuff because they have like the 3 years of the CSM to like coincide with it, and the CSM is giving us all the lock seeds from the series and the movies, plus Maja from the stage show. So everyone's relevant again because of CSM. So I'm fully expecting like a movie writers of like Bujin Gaim, Kamaro, Mars, Shin Kuragage. Because that's all of your main movie writers, except for like Duke, Dragon Fruits. Oh, and 15. I keep forgetting about 15.
I mean,
I feel bad. I feel.
I don't feel bad for you forgetting 15.
Yeah, he is from a bad movie.
And he's kind of forgettable.
Yeah, I feel bad because Voldos likes 15 design-wise, and I'm like, I feel bad for forgetting 15 every time.
Design, yes.
Yeah.
Design based off of transformation,
Mm-hmm. I also forget, and I remembered this when I was watching the movie, that all of the movie villains have, or all of the movie relevant villains have this like Four Horsemen, theming with them, which was intentional apparently, which means that Jam was intentional. So, Bujin Gaim is famine because of him like draining the well with the tree and stuff from his movie. 15 is death because duh.
Yeah.
Mars is war because what he wants to do in that movie.
Right.
And Jam is pestilence. Because I guess they took the second half of his power set and made it its own thing, which is Jam. Also, Jam is just a pest and like can just be swept under the rug. So apparently the Jam was always intentional in order to fill out this like 4 writer slot, but it feels weird that it's not 4 unique writers. Since Jam is just Mars, except I want to be in the show, damn it.
True.
Granted, I think you could slot Sengoku in as Pestilence from Full Throttle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought about that, and then also people are going to be very confused with no context of Gaim about that whole scene with all of the different writers being compared to their Overlord counterparts.
Fair.
Because for reference, folks, that was always a thing in series. If you were paying attention, you would notice that. Which is why when Baron gets his Overlord form, it pretty much is a repaint of Denmushu, because it's purpose. Because they're meant to be counterparts. The weird one in terms of counterparts is like Takatora in Roshuo, because they're only there because they were the leaders that failed. Except Takatora gets the wife in a coma thing tacked onto him from the movie, or in the movie, and that's Lapis's fault for making that assumption, I guess, about him.
True.
But yeah, this movie also gives us Kota's counterpart, since he never had a counterpart in the series. Yeah, I like the viewing experience. I don't know why they've privated the video since then. I don't know if they plan to put it back out there at some point, or All I know is actually from what I've read is that Shout Factory had no involvement with this. This was Toei directly. So this is their staff actually subtitling this movie to some degree. Which, why they didn't have Shout Factory do this, I don't know. But because I've seen someone brought up as oh yeah, they've got the whole Mill Creek deal going on right now, but they're not the ones who sub Ultraman. That's Mill Creek's. They're just doing distribution on their streaming platforms. That's still work in of itself, but they're not doing translation work for Ultraman, as far as I know. Because, the Orb translation is just the Mill Creek transformation. So, I don't know what Shout Factory is working on in terms of actual translation work, instead of just distribution work. Unless they're, really busy making sure all the Mill Creek stuff is, up and ready to drop when it needs to drop in their, phased distribution of it. Or their phased release of it. Because they're not releasing everything at once. They're releasing, so much, I think every couple months or so. So, I don't know. Anything else before we hit Build Fighters?
No.
Alright, then. Like I said, it was episodes 9 through 12. Any thoughts before we get into it proper?
No.
Alright, then. We kick off with episode 9, the Showdown at Solomon. So, and this is going to be a weird thing for the episodes. So, it's something I'm not recapping. So, I'm kind of not recapping the first couple minutes of several episodes because they're the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
Which is weird at times. But we deal with it. So we pick up post-fight with Yomi, the female member of G-Master, pretty much taunting Gyonko and demeaning her. Which, after ignoring her leader Sudo for telling her to knock it off, she gets slapped by Suga, who immediately tells her, "Don't do that. That's bad. They gave it their all. They lost. They deserve respect. Give them respect." That is not the fighter code. Which everyone's well, that just happened.
Yeah.
So fast forward to later on, Fumina meets up with Gyonko, tries to cheer her up, with Gyonko just going, "Hey, I got ideas for my next Gunpla. I'm off. Go talk to my team." And everybody's like, "I know you're broken up about this, but hey, you're trying. You're better off than I thought you were." That's good. Also, she gives the message from Sekai of "Hey, I don't want to see you again until we get to meet in battle because I want to fight you. So, see you whenever we get the chance to do that." As it turns out, that won't be the case in 5 minutes. So, Gyonko talks her team, they rally, they're in a better spot. Which leads us to learning that Tri-Fighters are going to take the day to rest and get ready for their match with G-Master because they are in for a fight. But they do meet at the restaurant, the whole quick strategy meeting, when Minato drops by, who is only really here to hit on Fumina and not give a shit about anyone else involved, and also to go, "You're gonna lose, meh, bye." He is such a dickhead.
Yep.
Such an absolute grade A dickhead. Like, he even drinks Sekai's drink, and it takes like 2 minutes after he leaves for Sekai to go, wait, you son of a... I just got that! You didn't even get to take a drink of it yet. Lots of space in my notes. But we head over to G-Master now, where we find out that Yomi, in response to Suga slapping her, slapped the shit out of him. Far harder, mind you, because she left a mark. He probably deserved it. Maybe don't do that.
Especially not in public.
Yeah, don't. But Yomi's off to, like, sort herself out. So it's just Suga and Pseudo. And Pseudo just talks about how this is his last chance to make nationals. I guess in this class. Because, like, in a later episode, we'll meet up with Niels, who's older, and talks about how he's retired. And I guess recently retired because he knows too much about the internal system and stuff. So...
Which makes
like
sense.
Playing, yeah. So I'm just like, you can still compete, but I guess not in this format or in this league. That's the one part I'm confused on a little bit. Is this the same tournament stuff from the last season, or is this technically a different league?
I think it's technically like a sub-league.
It's the team league versus the solo league.
Well, the reason I say that is because I forgot which one it was, but in one of the episodes, one of the characters had made a comment about winning the, I'm assuming the team championship to be able to enter the solo one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was the third episode. Yeah.
So, I think this is like a sub-league kind of concept.
That would make sense. Because, like, the tournament Fumina references, I don't think is a team tournament. It's a solo tournament, assumingly.
I think.
Yeah. So, anywho... Pseudo has like put everything into winning this tournament, even go as far as to forgo bringing a Gunpla of his own, but bring in Monato's to give him the extra edge, which will prove to be his downfall later. But we head back over to Sekai, who is doing his usual routine. I forget what this is technically called. Because there's a technical term for what Sekai does. Because I think every martial art has this kind of thing. And, like, the ending of Saber has all of the characters doing, like, their version of it. I just don't remember what the technical term of it is. I feel like I've heard it, but I don't remember. But essentially, he's doing that when I'm derping on names. Shimon and Yanko drop by to give Sekai some special training because he needs every edge he can get as only person in this show who does not punch. Or let me rephrase that. Only man in this show who punches. Besides one other character. For reasons. Because who needs a gun when you can punch? But after this training, we go forward to the next day, and the stage is set. It is 3v3, G-Master versus Tri-Fighters in space, with a giant space station, asteroid space station called Solomon, standing between the two teams, which means that you either fly around the space station one way or the other, or you fly through the station. which it would be hilarious if they decided to go the opposite directions around the space station. It just get to the other side and just be like, where the fuck did they go? Also, Yomi has learned her lesson. She's on the same page as everyone else, so no dissension among G-Master. Thankfully. This is just a straight up fight from all involved. Also, I love when Tri-Fighters is declaring more or less their motivations for the series. Fumina's is because she wants to be on par with Lady Kawakaji. Yuma is because he wants revenge for the person who dunked his ass in the past. And Sekai's is just to punch really strong people.
Yep.
That's it. Nothing personal, nothing special, just, I want to punch, let's go punch.
Yep. Sekai's motivation is Reggie's motivation.
Pretty much.
Which I feel like that works.
Yeah. It lets Fumina and Yuma get the proper character development stuff, and Sekai just to do cool shit. Which Yuma and Fumina do get to do cool shit too. And it's just
it's one of those, it almost feels like the battles are the point where Sekai's the main character, whereas the story part we're kind of seeing more of a split with the other two kind of concept, and it's one of those I kind of am fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it really
so
comes
far
apparent in like it really comes apparent in a couple episodes. But we get the battle started. Tri-Fighters decides to have Yuma scout ahead, going one direction, while Fumina and Sekai go through the space station. So that leads to Yuma fighting Pseudo off the bat, while Sekai and Fumina are fighting Suga and Yomi. We follow Sekai first into fighting, so he fights Suga first. Suga immediately counters him, but Sekai's like, no, I saw that one coming. Immediately back of the head headbutt to break the treads on his Gunpla, so he can't grind Bill Burning to death. But he's like, aha, I have rockets! Which, this is where the special training comes in, because somehow Shimon and Yonko figured out that Sekai can use that technique he does to like hop around in space so he can punch stuff, miniaturize it, and focus it on specific body parts of his in order to deflect projectiles. Because that's what he's doing, because it's the same visual effect. So I assume it's the same thing as when he's punching, or when he's like getting foothold to punch. So now he's miniaturized it, and now he can block like hard projectiles, like missiles. Because martial arts. So he does this, and Fumina immediately tells him we need to leave, and the both of them duck out and start getting out of the station. So we head over to Yuma, who is fighting Pseudo, and unfortunately, things are not going well, because Yuma is clearly getting outperformed because of the Gunpla. Like, his gun gets shot, his saber doesn't work, because Suga's, like, can change its frequency or something and just pass through his, I guess. Or just phase through it and just be like, nope, you're getting hit. So after Yuba gets knocked away, Pseudo's team informs him that Tri-Fighters is coming out. So he sets up his big fuck-off laser cannon, charges it. Yuma tries to intercept this, but gets blasted. Like half of his gun plug gets blasted as the laser continues to the base. It chases after the rest of the Tri-Fighters. Which, bear in mind, he had to move where he was shooting, so he is physically having to like move this fuck off laser as it is firing to go after them. But Yuma, with half his gun plot destroyed, manages to get moving, destroys the gun, but Pseudo decides to take him out, stabs him with a sword, which Yuma wanted, proceeding to stab Pseudo with his sword, presumably taking them both out in a massive explosion. Which I do love the point of Pseudo's team being like, no, he's not gone, but we got shit to do. So now we focus on the 2v2 fight with Sekai and Fumina versus Yomi and Suga. He tries to get missiles on Sekai, but Fumina takes the shot in order to dismantle hers and pass Sekai the knuckle. Sekai takes the opportunity to feint doing his like tornado attack to instead like use it as a cover to go for a punch. He beheads Suga's gunpla and bisects Yomi's at the waist, like pretty much disabling them both for the moment, except the two of them decide, fuck this, let's shove our shit together somehow and make this work. And it does, to the surprise of everyone involved of, what? You can do that? They can do that? Oh no. So, with them doing this, they proceed to attack Sekai, because Fumina's kind of out of this because of the missile shots. He gets knocked around, the knuckle gets destroyed, he's on the verge of defeat, except word from Tri-Fighters of still around gives up just a little bit of hope as Fuma's backpack comes in, saves Sekai, which he now uses as a surfboard in space, because this fucking series is amazing. And Fumina's like, hey, take my head that doubles as my cockpit and use it as a knuckle. Just shove it on there. It'll work. It's the same hole size, right? So with all this, Sekai actually taps into his super mode. This is actually his super mode that he is tapping into by happenstance.
Because he hasn't figured it out yet.
Nope. Remember, Sekai knows nothing about build burning, and neither does anyone else on the cast. Because also, no one's actually taken apart build burning. Because if you remember correctly, build burning's never received that much damage in a fight.
True.
So no one's not even sure what's inside this damn thing. So yeah, all the blue bits on build burning change to red. He gets a big old ring of fire on his back. Very much hard burning Gundam, God Gundam, whatever you want to call it. Like G Gundam references, because this series is an unintentionally big tribute to G Gundam, and I love it. But he gets a massive punch, meets Yomi's blades, shatters it, shatters the both of them, presumably winning the match. Which is good, because Sekai is exhausted, and he is barely able to move. Unfortunately, as Yuki points out, because he's actually watching this whole match in person, the match has not been called. As we turn and see Pseudo limp his way towards Sekai with half his gunpla intact, as he declares that he will win and give it everything he has. So he boosts towards Sekai, throws a massive punch onto Build Burning's chin, and time freezes as everyone just waits until Pseudo's Gunplaw's fist shatters on impact, giving Tri-Fighters the win. So, Tri-Fighters has their ticket to Nationals, except Sekai only gets to enjoy it so much before he passes out. Also, by the way, he received an injury just like his Gunpla did in the middle of the fight. Oops.
Well.
We'll get to that at a later date. But we end the episode with Fumina dropping off the trophy to Sekai and Mirai, just to congratulate him for more or less winning the match for them, but also to thank him for pretty much being the ace in the hole for the team, because like Sekai's the reason they've won half their matches. He is the ace of the team, which is perfect because there is no way in hell he should be the leader of the team. But that ends episode 9, which takes us to episode 10, Gunpla Collection. So, we flash back to after the match is over, as everyone kind of reacts to Sekai passing out. And Suga seems to recognize what's going on, and so does Yuki. And Yuki even names drops Sei and kind of Reggie, I think, as this happening to them, I guess. And, well, he includes himself in that, and like, it happened? Or like, this is some advanced version of something that's happened to them? Which, I don't think they ever addressed that.
I don't either.
I don't think they ever addressed that in the series. I think it's one of those, this is a thing for season 3 that we haven't gotten to yet, and I am sad. But also, the G-Master team, while they are, like, a bit sad they lost, they gave it their all. They take the L, they take that L with pride, which, that's all you can ask for. It's just, take the L with pride, please. Don't be a dick. So we go forward, now past the end of the last episode, where Sekai is bringing the trophy back to Fumina at her place. Since she's team lead, the trophy should be with her. But they decide, hey, let's just put it in the classroom, since that's where it should be to start with. I don't know why it wasn't there to start with, but okay. I don't know why they didn't think to do that to start with, considering Sei's trophy has been there the entire time. Well, Sei and Reggie's trophy. But at this point, Fumina's mom drops by to more or less ship Fumina with Sekai. Because she asks Sekai, it's like, are you her boyfriend? And he just goes, yes. Because he's too stupid to know that there is a difference.
Yeah. I saw that part and I'm like, yep.
He was just like, right, I am boy and friend, therefore boyfriend. And Fumina's like, oh, god damn it. That's not, no. I love how she doesn't outright refuse it, but she's also just like, that's not, no, we're not. Fumina is all but denying that, so. But he gets invited for waffles, and Fumina just has to deal with it. I am sad we don't get to see this little, like, lunch.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we check in with Minato real quick, because he is thinking about this last fight, because Pseudo dropped and saw him off at the subway. And he's just like, I underestimated Yuma. I won't do it again. I am required to fight him now. We'll catch up with him later. But later on, as Sekai and Fumina are walking around town, they run into Yomi and Suga. And Yomi congratulates them on the win, and Suga even has Sekai ask him, like, where did he find out about the Jigen Hao school? And he's just like, somebody at Nationals, you'll find out. So, mystery. That isn't really a mystery because we do get a name attached to it, but there's a story to it, and we'll get there. It's actually one of the really good fight scenes of the series. Meanwhile, we check in with Mirai, because this is technically her episode. She, at her, like, studio, or at her agency, she gets told about the Gunpla collection event, which is essentially a bunch of models getting paired with Gunpla to do a show and stuff. And we even get name-dropped Kira, who, in the 7 years since the end of the series, got into Hollywood and got really popular. So good for her. She actually got her dream to come true. But Mirai is getting pushed to compete in this because, hey, your brother knows Gunpla. He's friends with other people who do Gunpla. Go have them help you. You can do it. You'll win this. And she's like, but I don't wanna. Well, too bad she's in it now. So that night, she explains it all to the team. And Yuma, of course, immediately volunteers to help her. And she's like, okay, cool. But then Fumina's like, hey, I want to help too. And Yuma just gives her this look of like, fucking no. This is my one chance. Sit this out, please. And I love how Sekai completely just doesn't care. Because of reasons we'll find out.
Yeah.
So we follow Yuma and Mirai to G-Muse the next day. They go through different Gunpla models until they land on a bear guy, because of course she has a bear guy. Someone has to have a bear guy in this series, because that's the rule, I guess. So we montage through Yuma teaching her how to build it properly, how to paint it, how to assemble it, all that stuff. And they end up with a nice little fancy bear guy at the end. Which, during this montage, Sekai and Fumina are hanging out in the club room, and Fumina's like, just straight up tells Sekai, like, aren't you worried about him being around your sister this much? And he's like, nah. She knows what she's doing. She's really good in a lot of different ways. We'll see exactly why later, because I very much assume why he's not worried is because of what happens later. Anyway, back with the pair. They've got Bear Guy finished, and Yuma gives her a little tiny Bear Guy as a little friend and ace in the hole for Mirai for the competition. And Yuma's even like, hey, I got to enjoy building just for building and not for, a competition or a tournament or something fancy. I just got to build a thing to build a thing. So next day, we follow the team in Mirai to the competition. They do a little runway thing with everybody, and they're on a beach, so everybody's in swimsuits because it's the beach episode, per anime tradition, or per rules of anime. And Yuma also criticizes everyone else's Gunpla because it's like, all your guys suck. They're just regular builds. They're not even anything special. And Fumina's just like, that's not the point of this, right? And then Sekai's just like, hey, go punch him out. And Fumina was worse, like, God damn it. Why am I surrounded by the two idiots? I think she forgot to share her brain cell for this episode.
Oh, I'm positive she did.
But we do the runway show, and that takes us backstage, where the team's talking to Mirai about the upcoming Gunpla event. Which leads us to shithead Rockstar crashing in, talking to Mirai, and immediately going, "Hey, you and I will go on a date later." Because dickhead Rockstar, I get what I want. Of course, Mirai doesn't really want to, but she can't say no. But Sekai is just like, yo, beat her in the competition and you can do it. And you'll have it. But I love how Sekai's like, this guy's just a chump. We ain't gotta worry about him. Except he turns out to be a major Gunpla fan. So he knows what he's doing. So... poo. Thankfully, the event turns out to be a race. It's that hover race we had from last season. Except, I guess they don't have to follow the track markers. They just have to get from point A to point B. Technically. But Rockstar guy has the Turn A Gunpla, or Gundam, which the mustache on that is default. I know because Tai Tuesday and his friends did Turn A recently, and they have described it with the mustache that you see on the show. I don't know why it has a mustache. I really don't. Although I do appreciate it.
Reasons.
Yeah. My dog has come barreling in here. He needed to steal something real quick. Thankfully, it's not something I need to chase after him for, so... meh. He can have it. He'll calm down. But, to the race itself, he's all confident about his turn A until Mirai, busts out the boost with her bear guy and just takes off. And so that guy's like, oh yeah, no, I did some training with her. I taught her how to actually move the thing, because I guess Yuma forgot to teach her how to drive it. Bravo, Yuma. How did Yuma forget to do the most important thing about this competition?
Very carefully. Plus, he wasn't exactly, interested in that.
True. Also, give me a second. I'll be right back. My dog is incredibly silly at times. He comes barging in here acting like he wants something. So I follow him into the living room. You know what he does?
What?
Goes and sit down and eat his dog food. Apparently he needed my presence to start eating his dog food. My dog's weird, folks. But anyway, back to the race. Mirai is actually in a sizable lead because Yuma helped her build her Gunpla. It's probably faster than everyone else in this race. So, goodbye. Unfortunately, Rockstar bribed the competition with a date in order to attack Mirai, I assume? I assume he bribed the competition and not random people who hopped into this event for no reason.
That's what it seemed like to me, at least.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So they attack Mirai, force her off into the lake, which everyone is like worried about, except it was like, no, her bear guy is amphibious. She's actually better in the water, so she'll actually get a better lead. And also she can cut half the track off by just driving through the water, getting onto this lion, and then going back in the water on the other side of it. So yay, Mario Kart shortcuts! Except, oh no, Rockstar can use his shield as a surfboard. And he chases after Mirai to the island, where once she lands, he attacks, pretty much demolishes her, because again, didn't quite train her how to fight. As we'll see, she didn't quite need it. She just needed a reason to fight. Because during the fight, the little small bear guy gets knocked off the back of the bigger one. Rockstar spots it, tries to blow it up, but Mirai has the bigger bear guy take the shot, seemingly putting her out of the race. But once he tries to go after the small bear guy, Mirai takes control of it because technically she has 2 Gunplas in one, which I guess is legal? That's legal, right?
I guess.
I guess it's the same rules as like Sei and Reggie with their Gunpla at the start of the series, because they could like take control of the jetpack separately. So I'm gonna say it's legal. Anyway, as he tries to hit the small one as Mirai takes control, it bolts and immediately decks him across the face. And now it has a glowing aura, and now Mirai is pissed. Because much like Sekai, she can tell what you're thinking through punching you, and she's like, oh, you are certified grade A, dickhead. You deserve to die. So, yeah, Mirai knows all the Jigen how you do stuff because she took lessons, which means, just like Sekai, she could probably break a dumbass in half if she felt like it. Which I believe is the exact reason Sekai's like, yeah, no, I'm not worried about her hanging out with Yuma. If Yuma fucks up, he's screwed. I have to do nothing. She will break him for me. So, showing this off, she proceeds to do a Shoryuken directly into this man's dick. Like, directly into his dick. This hurts so much, not only does he feel it, but every male member of the audience feels it. Which, there's only one part that confuses me. Why do all the girls act surprised about this?
That's actually a very good question.
Like, Fumina is looking around at both Sekai and Yuma, who are like, oh god, no. And she's like, wait, what happened? Like, A, do you not know that really fucking hurts? And B, I'm pretty sure that hurts for a girl as well, to be punched directly in the privates.
I would have to think.
Yeah, no, that hurts for you too. I don't know why you're confused. But anyway, the punch connects. This man's entire career is destroyed. Because this one punch destroys his Gunpla into a billion pieces. I would like to remind you, Mirai is in a tiny bear guy. a little tiny bear guy. And she only took some lessons when she was younger. And I will remind you, Sekai and a full-size, like, top-tier Gundam has broken massive objects in half. That is the power level of these two. It is a bit ridiculous, but a good kind of ridiculous. Which makes me wonder, what happens if Mirai got like had her proper bear guy and like actually did this? Would she have sent this dumbass? I think she would have sent this dumbass flying before he exploded.
Probably.
Because also, I believe it's the exact same punch that Sekai uses, or one of his punches that he uses.
Yes, it is. Completely.
Yeah. Which also makes me go, can Mirai just be the backup member of Tri-Fighters? Can she just be the secret backup fighter for a surprise fight where she just comes in and then her and Sekai do like a stupid dumb martial arts fight where they both demolish a couple of jobbers? Because I kind of want to see that.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah. But anyway, this man dies a very painful death. Mirai goes on. Her small bear guy, I guess, apparently is equipped with a bubble blower that lets her hop in a bubble to get across the water to get back onto the racetrack. So she takes off, is in the lead, and is almost at the finish line till she trips on a pebble and someone else gets the win. And everyone's like, oh no. Except Mirai's not that broken up about it because, yeah, I didn't win, but I got to destroy a man's entire career. So I'm okay with this. Which, fair. You have destroyed an entire man's career. That is a win in of itself. But she actually is talking to Yuma about this, and she offers to take in to buy dinner, which Sekai takes up as well. Well, Fumiya's like, you do? No, we're not. And it's too late, so Yuma is stuck with having dinner with the team plus Mirai because you can't have nice things. Oh well.
I mean, it is a team show, so yeah, he can't have nice things.
No. And that's our first half of the episodes. How'd you feel about these two?
I feel like it was kind of good to start going into the, okay, we're through the first tournament, now we're gearing up to get the second one, but it also feels like something I noticed that felt different here is the fact that we might have actually had a little more development.
Yeah.
It's almost like they had a base template from how Build Fighters went, and they were like, okay, how can we actually improve this?
Yeah, because I think Tri-Fighters does more character work than Build Fighters did.
And I have to think it works better in this mentality too, because a lot of Sei and Reggie's, at least their connection building, more boiled down to on the battlefield. Whereas with this, we're kind of seeing, because of circumstances, we're kind of seeing the world being built around them kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Which is really cool to have that. I just kind of wish we got more than we are going to get about what's happened in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Because like 3 other people get name dropped in, I believe, this next episode, and I'm like, you all guys are still around? Like, what have you been doing? Because like, I'm sure one of you's got a ring on their finger.
Yeah.
Considering someone else has a ring on their finger. And I'm pretty sure as well, a third person from our previous cast also has a ring on their finger. Okay, no, 2 other people have rings on their fingers as well.
I feel like...
Man.
I know they're not going to, but I almost feel like maybe a half series to kind of fill in some of that gap would be nice.
Yeah. Well, I know they've done manga that's tied in, because there's a manga that is like gets well into Yuki's backstory and like gives more or less his entire history leading up to the start of Build Fighters. So, I mean, even if it's something like that, I'd be like okay with, just to give us like what's happened in those 7 years. Because they only give us so much, and mysteriously, Sei is rarely mentioned in that 7-year gap.
That's one of those where I feel like it would be neat if we could have like maybe half a series where it's kind of more of a this is what happened in that time for each of them, and it'd be a focus on each important character.
Yeah.
I don't want to say each character because, yeah, that might get too big, but each important character.
Give us one for every person that competed that was in the fight in the last 2 episodes. Because that covers pretty much everyone we would want to see. Or it covers all the major characters.
True.
Because, like, you can have an episode on... Actually, like, you could double up on those episodes, because you could have, like, Ricardo and Kira be one episode because of their tie. You've got... Yuki could be standalone on his own. You've got Mao, who's on his own, but you also have his master who's showed up in that, and he's, like, cameos in the background in this episode, or in this series. So the 2 of them... Rao could just be like a through-line character for the entire series, because that's just how he is. That's his existence, is just to be a through-line character.
Well, he could technically be the narrator for it.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
Let's see. China and Sei pretty much can be a pair, or be like their own episode. And then, like, Reggie can have, like, the last episode. And we can, like, see what he's up to at the end. Well, him and, shoot, I forgot her name.
Isla,
yeah. Him and Isla can have, like, the last episode. To see what they're up to. I can't believe I forgot about Isla.
But yeah, I mean, just something minor like that would be enough.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, though, if they were to do a third one in the series kind of concept, if they could maybe do something like that for the first half of it, and then lead into like a major tournament or something. You know, make it the reason to kind of guide everyone together.
Yeah. I will say, there is a teaser in the second to last episode of the series that pretty much goes, this is the 3rd season, but they've never followed up on it. And considering who says it and who that message is directed towards, you better believe it was a teaser for a season 3 or a setup for a season 3, because you know goddamn well you want to see that fight. Especially who is with this person that is giving this message. I won't spoil it, but yeah. That is literally what everyone's like, this is why we want to see a season 3. Because we want to see this, and we want to see, like, pretty much we want to see all this cast of Tri-Fighters, like, mix with the cast of Build Fighters, and to see people, like, bounce off each other, and also see fights, because, like, who wouldn't want to see a fight between Sekai and Reggie?
I mean, punch v punch. Fight. Yeah.
And like, it's not just that. Like, a fight between Sekai and Sei. Like, Yuma versus... well, we kind of get it in this episode, but, like, a proper fight between Yuma and Yuki. Like, Fumina versus Ayla. Hell, Gyako versus her brother.
True.
Like, there's plenty of people to be introduced in this series that I'm like, I want to see them fight someone else from Build Fighters. Which is why I'm just like, I want a tournament that mixes these two casts and just goes, here's a tournament, here's the brackets, here's, like, the most interesting way we can put a whole bunch of matches together. Let's see what happens. But they haven't done it, and I'm sad, because we've gotten Build Divers instead. And Build Divers is fine. Its Re-Rise is the really good series, but it requires you to have seen Build Divers because it builds on the entire season of Build Divers. Like, if you don't watch Build Divers, you miss the entire, like, inciting incident for the main character of Re-Rise. Like, the entire reason the main character of Re-Rise is who he is at the start of the series, and his entire motivation and his character arc is made in Build Divers. So if you don't watch Build Divers, you don't get that entire context for his story. So it's one of those weird cases where it's like, you gotta watch a fine first season to get a really good second season. Anywho, shall we hit the second half?
I guess so.
Alright, we pick up with episode 11, Nielsen Labs. We follow Ral as he drops by Yajima Trading, as they're the ones that have taken over all the Gunpla stuff and the creation of the new Plavsky particles and all that. And he runs into Nielsen, who, yes, he is married to Caroline. And yes, he did take her last name. And also, he fucking hit a growth spurt in 7 years.
Yep.
He is huge. I think he's the tallest person in the show.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think he's taller than Yuki. I also love how there is one shot in this episode that purposely has, like, a little, like, the light, like, do a little shing off his ring of, like, yeah, no, he's legit married. Although he's not as off on as Reggie is, since Reggie is not only married but has a kid at this point. But he's in charge of engineering for the Plavsky particles, so he's retired because I know the system inside and out. I more or less am a walking cheat code. I can't compete anymore. It's kind of illegal. Oh well. But Ral is there to go, hey, I've got this little team of fighters that I'm coaching. More or less, I'm here to make sure they don't get into trouble. I want them to be at your lab for training for the summer, since the nationals are in August, and we're in, I guess, May-ish in the series, time-wise. So it's time before nationals, and they need to go to a training camp. And Nielsen's first reaction to this is, are you sure? This sounds like a bad idea. They might not recover from what they go through. And Rao's like, they'll be fine. I'm sure. They'll be fine. Rao must have all the confidence in the world in them. Especially to call in this big of a favor, I assume. Because, as we'll find out, like, only multi-year national appearing teams get into this lab. So I assume this is a big favor Rao's calling in. Which, it's Rao. I'm sure everyone owes him one. But Nielsen agrees, so I guess the next day or so, Rao is driving the team to the lab. And I love how Sekai and Fumina are already drift compatible by singing a random song about them being like, "Oh, we're going to nationals! Yay!" And Yuma's just like, God damn it. Please stop singing. Please stop singing. Please shut up. But they soon find out they're going to Nielsen Labs, and they're all excited. And we find out that Nielsen Labs pretty much is state-of-the-art battling in building lab, because they have got their like state-of-the-art building area, which looks like a nice little like open-air desk setup. I kind of like it. I wish I had a corner desk. But I kind of don't quite have the space for it, unfortunately, at the moment. But in the battle arena, they run into two members of White Wolf as they get through with a training session against AI. And apparently they've been going at it for probably hours, considering how tired they are. But they are not tired enough to talk shit at Tri-Fighters. And I love how Sekai immediately steps up and is like, you want to go? We'll fight you in Gunpla or in Lai or in person. I'll fight you in person. And I love that Sekai immediately takes a stance of just like, go, come at me. I won't I won't punch you, but I will throw you on the ground. Because I'm pretty sure Sekai wouldn't actually fight them. I assume he'd do what he did to those punks at the start of the first episode. he just show them up and just be like, yeah, no. If I wanted to drop you, I'd drop you, but I'm not gonna. That's not how we do things. But their team leader comes by, reins them in, says, hey, do you want to do a training match? Sure. Because Rao asked to have a match with them, and leader's like, sure. Once more, someone knows Rao, because fucking of course they do. So, a couple hours later, Tri-Fighters is late because Sekai lost Bill burning in his bag, and it's buried under candy, apparently. What? Why do they not have those little pouches that, like, Sei had in the first series?
Because reasons.
Like, that was, like, a really smart idea to just have your Gunpla, like, in this, like, pouch. Oh, I also forgot to mention, at this point, we introduced pretty much the team that Tri-Fighters is fighting in the finals of the tournament. because of course they are, and that's the Gunpla Academy, which is a private academy that is completely 100% designed to win tournaments, and they've won the Nationals 6 years in a row. So that accounts for 6 of the last 7 years. And I assume Yuki is responsible for 4 of them? Considering his buddy is the one running the academy? So... eh. So, them being late actually might have saved their asses, because when they arrive, they see Ral shocked. And that is because White Wolf have been destroyed by one of Gunpla Academy's fighters. And it's Reggie! Hi, Reggie. We missed you. For reference, folks, his actual name is Saga. This is Reggie's voice actor from Arc 5.
Ah. Yeah,
which also, as I found out as I was looking through credits, he did Shotaro in Memory of Heroes?
Wait, really?
Yes. He was Shotaro in Memory of Heroes.
Huh.
I didn't hear it. But I guess it's not because he's not using his big dick asshole voice.
True.
Because he is incredibly using his Reggie voice here. So, Saga has demolished White Wolf, and the team is shocked by this. And we immediately have Yuma fight this guy, because guess what, folks? This is the asshole that destroyed Yuma years ago and caused him to stop fighting. So Yuma wants some revenge. It wants this man dead. And he's just like, you took it. You did this to me. And he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love that he does not give a fucking hoot.
Oh,
He's like,
I love that this guy's just so much of a jerk that he's like, oh, I fought you? Oh, well, I fight a lot of people, so.
I have ended a lot of people's careers. You're gonna have to be specific. Do you remember the time and date? That might help.
And maybe exactly what I said, because, you know, I tell a lot of people they suck.
Yeah. Do you remember what I was using? Because I think he's technically using something that looks different in the back, in the flashback.
I think.
But it might be the... Yeah. But the two of them fight. Yuma actually dodges his, like, funnel, like bullet-looking bits. It manages to shoot him down because he's like, I know your tactics. I know how to fight you. And he's like, okay, cool. Here's a move you probably don't remember me using. I didn't use before. Also, you kind of don't understand how my stuff works because he has something really stupid with his stuff. Like, stupid. So, in one fell swoop, because of his little bit stuff, Yuma is immediately demolished and immediately is just like, oh no. It's just like, he is done for the rest of this episode. He is out of it and is about to get demolished some more until Sekai and Fubita drop in to help. They force him back. But, unfortunately for Sekai, he knows the Jigen Haoyu from a guy named, Junya, and recognizes when Sekai does a move and immediately counters it. And, like, takes off Burning Shoulder and damages the arm. Which is the first time Bill Burning's actually been damaged that much. Okay, it's been damaged that much. I think... Actually, no. Shinya actually damaged Build Burning a good bit in their fight. So this is the first time since Shinya that Sekai's taken that much damage in a fight. I forgot he was like Shinya like demolished Build Burning a good bit. Anyway, Fumina passes Sekai the knuckle. It is ineffective against this guy's giant hands with Gundam faces on them that bite you. Because they just rip the knuckle off. But Sekai's arm's injured now. And we get a crowd of like other people who will be competing in nationals. I don't remember their names at the moment, so I'm not going to name drop them. But they're people we're going to meet later. But they all gather to watch this fight now. And as I guess Fumina is incapacitated because of the bits, and Sekai is down, and Yuma's down, Saga moves in to like finish off Sekai with his gun. His real gun with real bullets. Why? Like, why? This seems unnecessary. But,
yeah.
and what is the most over-the-top entrance, but fits him so well. Piercing the dark clouds of the sky in golden light that heals the plants that are on the battlefield for some fucking reason. Because it has to be over the top. Descending from the heavens itself, apparently, is not only amazing Red Warrior, piloted by Yuki. And we end the episode there, as everyone watches on, as this fucking drama bastard fucking makes a big ass entrance because he fucking can. Why? I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing at this man just making a scene of entering the battlefield. Which I have to think he's doing this because he owes Rao one, and he doesn't want his team to be completely demoralized day one. Also, Alan is here with one of the other members of the Gunpla Academy, and he's like, Yuki, why are you doing this? Why are you pranking one of my team members by showing up? I know you're going to demolish him, but why? I guess because you want to fight, because you're bored. I know.
And I love that you can tell you can get the vibe too without even really watching Build Fighters that they kind of at some point work together concept.
Yeah.
Because of the interaction there.
Because he's the only person at this point to have called him by his real name. Because everyone gets fooled by the sunglasses. Yep. Even though they're 100% ineffective.
Mm-hmm. Especially behind the helmet that we see later.
Mm-hmm. So this takes us to episode 12, Fly to the Future. So we open with Saga going, oh look, it's Meijin. I want to fight. I want to fight you. And he's like, bring it. If you can. And he also name drops Ricardo, Luang, and Greco, all three people from Build Fighters, as like, I know these people. I want to fight these people, and I want to fight you. And Yuki's like, sure. Sure you will. Let's see how well this ends for you. So he tries to shoot Yuki, who immediately shoots down all of his shots with his gun. Like, right in the middle, but right in between them. They're not that far apart. And Yuki immediately shoots down all of his shots. Sir, you're not winning this fight. Because, as is shown later, Yuki will play with your ass if he feels like it. He is fully aware of how good he is, and knows exactly what fights he can win. So, Saga sends out his fangs. Yuki slices them all into pieces with one strike. He tries a combined form. Yuki blocks it with his sword and destroys it with his gun. So Saga's like, well, pulling out the big gun. And the fight is canceled. Or the battle is, like, canceled by Alan, who's like, no, you are not fighting him. And he's just like, Yuki, please don't destroy my team. And I love that Yuki's like, well, maybe don't have a team of assholes. And he's like, I know, I'm working on it. I'm sorry, I have a bad one this year. He just won't learn. So we're now back to Tri-Fighters, who are kind of left a bit broken because Yuma is traumatized again. Sekai has passed out again, which leaves Fumina as the only one not destroyed by this current fight in some capacity. Once more, it's a good thing she's the leader, because she's not the one with baggage or a power that leaves them unconscious after a really bad fight. So Yuma runs off when she tries to talk to him. Rao decides, hey, let's get Sekai to a nurse first, and then we'll worry about him later. Which Yuki talks to them for a second and, like, confirms that, like, Sekai does this assimilation thing. And Rao's like, yeah, he gets a little too much into it. Which, once more, is like, what is this? Why are we talking around it? Because, again, we don't really get into it in the series, so I don't honestly know what it is. I have a theory based off things later, but we have to get there first before I'll talk about it. But we follow Yuma for a bit, see that he's at rock bottom. We follow Saga as he's like, I was gonna win! And his teammate's like, no, you weren't. And he's like, nah. I love how both of them knew, it's like, you were going to lose. Badly. Because I also feel like, because of what we'll find out later in this episode, he would have demolished him. If he wanted to. Because I feel like deep down, Yuki kind of wants to. He kind of wants to end this man's whole career. Mainly because he knows full well that if he doesn't, somebody will end his career. Not in Gunpla, though. But Rao and Fumina get Sekai dropped off, and she heads out to try to find Yuma. Which takes us to Yuma, as Yuki is the one to find him on his fancy motorcycle and sidecar.
Yeah.
I love how he has this fancy-ass motorcycle with a sidecar. And because of, again, something later, this happens a lot. So he needs that sidecar. But Yuma actually recognizes him as Yuki. And Yuki's like, yeah, your sister takes care of me. Which I feel like is a confirmation of, oh, she has to keep you both in check, doesn't she? She has to deal with you and say at the same time. That's good to know. It's nice to know that she's got work to do. Of keeping you both from doing something stupid. But yeah, that whole thing makes me go, that's the reason why I'm like, oh, Yuki would not hold back on this guy. Because I'm sure he knows. Because I'm sure China told him. And I'm sure if given the opportunity, Yuki would destroy him. Because of what happened. Because he will probably not take that. I assume. But he takes Yuma off for training because he needs it. Which leaves Fumina to watch this and then to meet Lady Kaogaji, or else they'll just refer to him as Lady. Who Fumina immediately recognizes as, hey, you're this person I looked up to at this specific tournament, at this specific location. And she's like, no? At least she plays it off a little clear. No, she plays it off just as well as Yuki does, which is not at all. And just be like, I don't remember that. Yeah, sure you don't. You've already admitted that you're that person. Don't lie. But she's here to take Fumina off for training as well, because I guess Yuki asked her to do it, and so she's doing it. I don't know what their relation is. Because once more, we don't get into Lady that much. She's in the background. So I don't know how her and Yuki met, how she ended up getting this, like, getting the Meijin title at the same time as Yuki has it, considering that's not a thing as we know. So I don't know what their deal is, or why they hang out all the time. Or why they seem to be friends. Outside of giving Yuki a, I don't even say love interest because they don't even show it. They just seem to just know each other. Anyway, we go back to Yuki and Yuma. They drop by a local gunpla shop. This apparently happens enough where he's like, guy, I need the room. I need the battle room for a little bit. He's like, okay. And yes, I'll sign autographs. One of them kids is like, oh, that's faster than he usually does. And I'm like, how often is he here? Also, does he live nearby then? If people are like, oh, okay, he's reacting faster than normal. It's just one of those strange things about this that I'm just like, how? Anyway. He wants to have a battle with Yuma. And he's willing to give Yuna a handicap of, here's my gunpla, I'm going to use yours, and we're going to fight. Don't worry, I set the model damage level to the lowest, so nothing will get damaged. I would like to also point out that lightning is still damaged from the previous fight. Yuki is not repairing it at all. So this is even more of a handicap. And I also love that Yuma's first response to all this is, are you playing me? And Yuki's like, yes, we're doing a battle. Now, sit your GP base and let's fight. Because, yes, Yuki is playing your ass. Get over it. Man up and fight. That's the point of this. So the two of them fight, and Yuki pretty much is outperforming Yuma, and also toys with him. Because he just disappears on him for 5 seconds, and then just appears directly in front of him. And just shoots him down. Like, no, I am playing with you. But there's a point to it. But the whole reason he's fighting him is to teach Yuma that, hey, you're fighting not to lose. You're not fighting to win. You need to fight to win in order to actually fully utilize your abilities. because you have everything else. You just need to have the heart for it. Which I feel like deep down he's referring to Sei, maybe? Because it's not like the same issue that Sei had, but I don't know, maybe he sees a bit of Sei in Yuma. I don't know. I might be reaching. Am I reaching? Tommy? You there? Hello? Hello? Tommy? Tommy? Hello? I'll finish out the episode then. Anyway, Yuba realizes this, takes it pretty well, and decides to continue to fight Yuki to train. And he's like, hey, I'll fight you till the shop closes. Which, considering it's night, I guess is probably just a few hours. Meanwhile, Fumina is fighting Lady and is likewise getting demolished at every turn. And even gets to the point where she tries to use the winning launcher herself and can't control it because it wasn't designed to use that. So she has winning, she ends up getting winning destroyed by Lady. And her lesson learned is she kind of needs to stand on her own. Like, she can't just be this vehicle that delivers weapons to Sekai and Yuma. She needs to fight on her own terms to make the team better. So that is her lesson going forward. Which leaves us with Sekai, who wakes up, decides to go try to repair build burning on his own, even though he can't, because he doesn't know what he's doing that much. And Ral even points it out of just like, you're not skilled enough to handle build burning to repair it. But thankfully, once he gets to the building area, he runs into a girl hanging out outside. And we end the episode there. Tell me, what'd you think of those two episodes? Tommy? Hello? He might have fell asleep on me. Oh no! I think he did fall asleep on me. Shoot. So it was a nice 2 episodes. And it will round, I think it's 4 parts? Because our first 2 episodes next week cover more or less the rest of the training camp stuff before we get into the tournament proper with the second half of the episodes, if I recall correctly. Let me double check episode titles. Yes. Yeah, 13, 14 are the rest of the training camp stuff, and 15, 16 are our next 2 proper episodes. Or the first 2 episodes of the next tournament. But yeah, good 2 episodes. Once more, like Tommy was pointing out, that Fumina and Yuma get more or less the bulk of the plot and the character development, and this episode is more or less our 2 Kawagachis going, this is what you need to learn, we're going to teach it to you the hard way, so chin up, this is gonna hurt. And they both take it well, which is good. But yeah, we're slowly setting the stage for the Gunpla Academy, because yeah, they are the team Tri-Fighters is going to be fighting the finals. It's more or less the same case with Build Fighters, where the finals is Sei and Reggie versus Yuki. Like, there's no question that is the final fight. It's what happens between now and then. And even then, the fight's fucking amazing, especially the final part of that fight, which, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, that's all I have. If Tommy is around, he can talk about how he felt about the 2 episodes, but I don't think he is at the current moment. And I kind of want to don't leave him hanging. So here we are, folks. How you doing? Oh, that's always a good sign. Pull up my dashboard for YouTube. One of the videos for wrestling. Several legends return, and I'm like, oh, goody. What happened on Raw? Was that the pull the lever emergency? Because for those that don't know, last week's Monday Night Raw for WWE was the lowest ratings ever. From reports backstage, it was a scramble, and oh god, we need to fix this situation. So seems like it's a break glass, get everybody in. Curious about the Orton segment, because TLC was last night, folks, and not having a stream, I got to watch the whole pay-per-view for the most part. I was mainly interested in the Orton versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt Firefly Inferno match. More or less it was an Inferno match, but the Flames were, instead of being on the outside of the ring, they were like out in, like on the railing and stuff where the crowd normally is. But since it's a Thunderdome, we don't have a crowd, so we can just put that stuff out there and don't have to worry about anyone lighting themselves on fire. And Orton actually won the match, and seemingly killed the Fiend by setting him completely on fire and leaving him to burn. So at the current moment, it's the assumption that the Fiend is dead, but since the Fiend is a movie monster, more or less, in his booking, that is doubtful. And it looks like, I guess, Bray's just gone for a little bit as they continue to build this feud with Randy Orton. I guess this might be a build to WrestleMania feud, I assume. Unless they build it for Royal Rumble, because Royal Rumble is next month, so maybe they build it towards there. Maybe. I don't know. And didn't seem like anything else was that interesting on Raw. Oh, guess this is a heads up. Within the next few days, I think it's Wednesday, is what Matt Hunt was talking about, because Matt Hunt is one of the prominent Toku people on Twitter who talks about leaks and stuff and all that. He was talking with Frozen Stratos Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. It was Sunday when the Zenkaiger website went up, and they were just talking about Zenkaiger. I was in chat, dropped some questions in there, got answered. Since we had like some more information about Zenkaiger, not too much, but we got our first like good look at the suits, besides the poster that we've gotten, and a bit of plot synopsis that is talking about like parallel worlds, which is a strange concept for Sentai, but I don't know. Zenkaiger continues to be this bunker sounding series with this idea that the mecha are like 4/5 of the team, along with Zenkaiser, who's the leader. And the 5 of them are, I guess, traversing the multiverse, to take on this evil organization of some sort. Like, it's weird and strange and bonkers, and I'm kind of on board with it, because I haven't been interested too much in Sentai in the last, like, few years or so. I think the last Sentai that really held my interest was Loopat, and that was only, like, a couple years ago. But Ryusoulger only kept me around for so long until I fell off after Max Ryusoul Red. And then Kira Major didn't keep me around for past, like, the first few episodes. Because I just kind of felt burned out on Sentai, because it's felt a little too by the numbers in a lot of respects. But it feels like Zenkaiger's like trying to shake up the formula a great degree. So I'm kind of on board with it. Ooh, we got our first look at Kamen Rider Metsubo Jinrai. I guess this is an extra photo from the premium Bandai listing for the driver module in the Progrise key, or Zetsumo Rise key, actually. Because it's technically a Zetsumo Rise key. I kind of like it. I like at least what we can see. We can kind of see the helmet, a little bit of the chest, and like one of the arms. The rest of it's kind of obscured by the driver and like the cropping of the photo, but it looks really good. Like 01 does really good stuff, because it's 01. They always do good stuff. One more thing for Soto to do for me to get. Oh, and I read this on Reddit. I forgot where I got the link from. Probably but it's in my history somewhere. I might grab it. Someone dropped a full synopsis of the 01 movie. It didn't line up with some spoilers we got beforehand, but those were based off an assumed pre-screening, but these are from actual screening of the movie, and it all sounds wonderfully good. So I'm excited to watch 01 movie in April. When it will get subbed, because it will be when it gets released on DVD, unless Toei, since they keep wanting to do Rider movies as these single releases instead of full series at the moment, throw out the 01 movie. Like, I'm just saying, like, when it hits, like, once it gets out of theater circulation, maybe say, hey, we're gonna do a special event and do it we're gonna sub it for you and put it on the Toei Toku channel. And this time, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna quietly record it on the side, so I just have it. Because if we're gonna play this game of not keeping our stuff up so people can actually watch it, I'm not gonna go around and like I ain't gonna fuck around either. I'm gonna like record it and like keep a copy of it myself. I'll just say I'll do that. I'm not afraid to say that. I are yar hard me hardy heart a pirate at the end of the day. When necessary. Okay, game explain. What Easter egg? Is it a good Easter egg, or is it just a, oh hey, that, like, what? What's hidden in the news? Okay, that's not that is interesting. Oh, hey, look, it's Mario theme. Oh well. I know it's complaints people had because I've seen them, and I've seen people have to like correct those complaints because people will direct them at Team Rider and Bluefin, and they're not the people in charge of pretty much what they get to do. They only get handed what they can and have to put out what they can. But well, and Shout Factory too. Forgot to put them in that pile. But I don't know. This scattershot approach to Riders releases is just, it's frustrating, I think, for a lot of people, because it's a lot of material that has already been subbed by fans. Not officially subbed, mind you, but just subbed in general by fans. Like, this is material we've seen. Like, this would be perfect for new fans. And while the original series in Kuga are cool, especially because I was thinking especially for the original series, because I don't think like one of the major subgroups subbed it. I think it was a smaller one that managed to get all the original series, I think. Kuga's had a sub for forever, but also it's not one of the major subgroups, it's one of the smaller ones, and it's a little hard to find. But, I just wish they... And again, I retweeted this because Vangela said it. Like, I just wish they would just take the same approach that Tsuburaya has of just put your shit out there and let people be able to watch it. Because... And this is just a viewpoint of mine. But... accessibility is a very key point in people watching your stuff. If people can't easily get a hold of your stuff, whether it be like a show, a movie, a toy, whatever, if people can't get a hold of it easily, people won't buy it because they don't want to go through the hassle of getting it. There's only so much hassle people, like, a lot of people are willing to deal with in order to get something. You know, that's kind of the reason why streaming services took off so much, is because here's all of this material, and it's like, it's not $5 a month, but you know, it's so much a month, and you just have access to all this stuff. No muss, no fuss. Like, some stuff rotates in and out, but like, for the most part, it's all there. You just click a thing and go. Like, what? That's all people want, really, is just be able to get the stuff they want and just do what they want with it. But it's not that complicated, and that's something I feel like Tsuburaya understands. Is, you know, if you want people interested in Ultraman, just put an Ultraman series out for them to be able to watch. And that's what they did with Zed this year. because Zed was simulcasted on YouTube with English subs, and I think a lot of other subs too from different languages. I don't remember. But it's easily accessible. It's there, and while they take episodes down, I think the oldest episode after like 2 weeks or so, that's like plenty of time for someone to watch it. Like, it doesn't get there if you're like late in the game. Like, if you're just now hearing about Zed since it just ended, you're not going to be able to watch the show from the beginning. But still, like, it's a step in the right direction. It's more than Toei's done. It's a more convenient mean. It's something like Toei could do. It's something Toei could do with Saber right now. Like, it would suck for me because I don't like Saber, and I'd be like, well, gonna watch this because I want to support it, but I don't like the show. So it is what it is. I just wish Toei would metaphorically man the fuck up and just put their shit out there. Tommy, you there?
Yep.
Fell asleep on me?
Kind of.
Okay. I've just been talking about stuff because I've already recapped the last part of the episode, that last episode. So I've just been talking about stuff to buy time. But how'd you feel about the last couple episodes? Or the last 2 episodes of the batch?
I feel like it does good kind of filling in some of the remaining little gaps, because there wasn't much gaps left on everything there. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that kind of helped shed some light on the, the lovely person we're dealing with.
Yeah. Also, the first 2 episodes of our next batch are the last 2 episodes of, I guess, the camp part of the show. And then the first 2 episodes are the first 2 episodes of the tournament. So more or less, here's the first Build Fighters fight, and then here's the first Gunpla Academy fight. Also, the first Gunpla, or first team Tri-Fighters fight, it's fucking good. Essentially, remember their first fight for the first tournament. What if we crank that up a little bit harder? And really showed you what this team could be capable of once they are all fully motivated. Or fully in the zone. They will destroy a team. But anything else?
No.
Alright. Are you doing Halo 4 Wednesday this week?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow, then, Halo 4. The rest of Halo 4. And Spartan Ops, because I'll probably be around. If you're up for it.
At the bare minimum, at least Halo 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll feel like doing more Spartan Ops by the time it's done, but might be one of those maybe switch over to like multiplayer or something at that point.
That honestly sounds better. I forgot how boring Spartan Ops is.
Yeah.
Very telling thing about Halo 5, about Halo's future right there. There's that. Thursday is more Radiant Dawn. Friday will definitely be Spartan Ops. Since that's kind of our Friday, Saturday thing now.
Yeah.
Saturday will be the podcast. who's ready for Glock to be mad at me, because I'm going to talk more about how Cyberpunk has been this disaster of a launch, more or less. Along with whatever else may come out. And Sunday is the rest of the episodes of Build Fighter. So if you like what you've seen, drop a follow, really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. @Suzuun on Twitter gets you updates when we go live. Exclamation point, Discord and chat gets a Discord link. Drop by, say hi. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.